The handouts that I gave you, first of all, you can read at a later time, but the one that's trifolded will give you more information about what we're currently doing. And that went out with our appeal letter in the fall. So I'm working with Erika's Lighthouse, a beacon of hope of adolescent depression. Well, I was going on to say thank you to my aunt and uncle, and it is an honor to be here. And our organization has worked with the Rotary in Evanston, Illinois, which is where the headquarters is, and they've helped us raise money. They've helped us reach out to schools and other organizations so that we can truly get our programs into the schools and into the communities. And I will briefly give you a background as to why I got involved with the organization. And it was formed in 2004, and Erika Ann Newkrantz was one of my daughter's best friends, and she was an extended family member of ours. She traveled here to Utah with us, met family, skied, played in the mountains, the beautiful playground that is here. And she was 14 years old. And at the time, no one thought a 14-year-old could have depression. It was just, the doctor said, no, teenagers cannot have depression. And the community really surrounded the family with wonderful support, and donations kept pouring in and pouring in. And so at the dining room table, the foundation was formed, the dining room table of the Newkrantz family, Erika's parents, and the foundation was formed, non-for-profit organization, so that we could educate young people about depression and mental health in general. When we started out, it was a horrible tragedy. As I know that local schools have experienced this, and it affects the entire community. The entire community. It is devastating. And her friends and schoolmates were just trying to reach out for any information they could get and help any way they could. And so after the foundation was set up, and the decision was made to actually put together programs that could educate students. It was rather hard to get into the schools because at that time, the thought was, if we talk about suicide, then kids will follow suit. It will put the idea into their head, which is not true. I mean, evidence has proved that that is not true, that education truly is power. And I was affiliated with the Salt Lake City Marathon and the Chicago Marathon at the time. And with the few skills that I had, I put together a small walkathon for the students so that they could educate themselves, it was a healing process. And we had them put together just yard signs, and they did their own research on depression. And they had signs around the course that had facts such as Abraham Lincoln suffered from depression. And they did their own research on this. And it was very, very educational for them and for others. It went on to grow. We did a walkathon for 10 years, and it went from being part of just the school to the entire region and schools that we had reached out to. So I am from Utah County. I was raised in just this beautiful, wonderful area. I have recently moved back in November, and I have said for years that I really need to give back to the community that really formed me, and very passionate about getting into the schools, getting into the communities, getting the word out, educating young people and parents and adults, anyone we can reach out to. So we have a beautiful website that has been developed, and so we went from dining room table to dining room table to dining room table to actually hiring a staff and renting an office space and a lot of our volunteers became staff members. Peggy Kubert, who you will meet in a moment, was the first executive director, and she's moved on to the educational director, among other things. She does everything. And Lisa Honeck, Lisa, I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. I know you sent the correct enunciation to me, but I will let Lisa correct me. So I could go over statistics. You have those in front of you, and I don't want you to glaze over with, too much information that way. But my personal reason for being here is very personal, And I worked very closely with the kids in the basement of my house with therapists, trying to have them understand this, trying to get them through the grief, trying to empower them to then go forward. And when we had the walkathons, they became rallies, and students would come, community members would come, and the students would stand up and speak about information that they knew about, that they were aware of. And it was so empowering. It always is. A parent can stand up and talk to a community all day long, but when a young person actually uses their voice, it has much more power. And so we empowered the young people to really help us form the curriculum, along with some of the best educators, professors, doctors that we had access to in the Chicagoland area. And so it brings us to today. And I'm here. I can't believe it. I'm still in shock that I'm back home. And I'm very, very grateful. My heritage, this is where I'm from. My grandparents homesteaded part of Spanish Fork. My mother's from Salem. My grandfather taught at Spanish Fork High School. It's who I am. It's part of who I am, and I've always been proud of where I'm from. So again, I am very honored to be here, and rather than have me go through statistics, and I promise you these ladies will not do that, they do this daily. So I thought I would hand it over to the professional staff that we work with. I'm the one that shows up to the community fairs and hands out information and works, with students when I can. That's what I love doing. So when I was invited, I have to tell you, I'm very nervous. I don't know why, but I am very nervous, I think, because this is family to me. So I think it's an appropriate time for me to turn this over to Peggy.
I just want you all to know I've only been with Erika's Lighthouse just under a year and a half. And so actually I've spent a year of my time here with them in quarantine. So it's been really an interesting time, and yet a time where I've learned more than ever how important our mission is. So my background is in technology. I actually worked in technology for almost 30 years. But as a mom of 2 kids who suffer from anxiety and depression, this is just a wonderful fit for me. And I love everything that we do. So I know that, and it was kind of hard to hear Diana, so I think she pretty much covered our background about how we were founded, and clearly Diana knows the history by Diana and Peggy better than anybody else. But I think one of the greatest things about Erika's Lighthouse that I can't stress enough, obviously besides the people and the passion and the mission, is that everything that we do is free, right? So our programs can go to any middle school, high school, and now we're going into lower grades as well. Everything is free. Our videos are free. Our resource portal is free. Our parent handbook is free. And our information is evidence informed. So Diana gave the best part about the background and how it started and where we've come. So I think that's good enough. But right now, this number that I'm showing you here, these are actually last year's numbers. And part of the reason that we're showing last year's numbers is because we are in the middle of this, or not even we're about in the middle of this year. School numbers, but we continue to grow. And even it shows us in 39 states, we're also in other countries now. So it's really exciting. And we continue to reach more teens every year, and our numbers already this year are looking very strong. And I'm sure we'll be excited to share that as it continues to grow. But one of the biggest things is to say, there's a need for what we're doing. We're growing, we're expanding, and each year we're coming into more and more communities. And it's with people like yourselves that are helping us to continue to spread the word, which we greatly appreciate it. So our core message is pretty simple and yet strong. So we want people to know, and this is the information that we've learned of what is it people want to hear, what is it they want to know. And it's really quite simple. Is depression is a mood disorder. It's common, it is serious, but it is treatable. We also want to make sure that everyone knows that everybody deserves good mental health. So we want to help to share that mental health does not necessarily have to have a negative connotation. It's also something positive. So mental health, both good and bad, is something that we need to work on together. And more importantly, we want to make sure that kids especially know they're not alone, and there's hope, and there is a future. So when things seem down, there's still something to look forward to and to hope for. So you might see in some other organizations that touch on the topic, sometimes they focus on, some of the negative numbers. Erika's Lighthouse really prides ourselves, and you can even see in our colors, we pride ourselves in positivity and hope and encouraging messages. So that is what we really want kids to know is there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's treatable. You deserve to feel good, and we're going to help you to feel good. And for parents and educators, we're going to help you help them. I'm just going to pause for a moment and see if anybody has any questions. If not, I'm going to keep on going. Okay. So our philosophy is again, it's a strong philosophy. It's a deep philosophy, but it's a good one. And really what we want people to know is that depression education is suicide prevention. So we think it's more important to talk about the depression education as an upstream alternative. So what we want people to know is that there's early identification and intervention. We want to make sure that we're addressing the broad population of students. So as we've mentioned, we started in middle schools and high schools, but the need is getting there to go lower. So we are going now to, grades 4, 5, and 6 as well. We want to make sure that people know that you can infuse good mental health messaging into all of the messaging that you do. So this is a kind of a busy slide. I think what we want more than anything is to say there is the need. We all know there's a need, and the pandemic has exposed challenges that we probably never could have expected. So some of the statistics here, they obviously come from external resources, but the need is there, the need is strong, it's going to continue, and we're probably going to see how important it is over the next year as the students who have been remote learning or dealing with the pandemic, try to reacclimate into regular activities. And I know that in our call, Diana had mentioned that there's been some recent suicides in your area. So we know that the suicide rate is there. We know that the need is great. And what we're seeing is that kids don't trust that their schools know how to handle the situation, or that good mental health or even good physical health information is out there. So we need to make sure, A, that kids know that it is, and B, that we help educators to feel comfortable and confident talking about it. We're not trying to turn them into, especially teachers or health teachers, we're not trying to turn them into therapists. We're not trying to turn them into counselors. We're trying to turn them into trusted adults that kids can go to when they need some help. And then we want to give them the tools to be able to know how to simply help, maybe how to see the warning signs, and how to go to the next step. But we definitely know the need is now. So this screen shows, or this slide is talking about the fact that one of the things we really have to do is change the culture. So as Diana mentioned, we were founded on school cultures, but we want to make sure that a school is comfortable talking about mental health. Again, we want the students to feel like you can talk about this just like you can talk about Netflix, like you can talk about the upcoming test. It should be a conversation that should come easily. We're district minded. So right now we are offering solutions for grades 4 through 12. Our lessons are flexible. So teachers can teach this, in a 4-day course. They can teach it throughout a semester if they want to, but there's, different ways to get it to fit in. Some teachers teach it in health class, some in PE class. So we make sure that there's options so that everybody can receive what they want. And it's also, we offer something comprehensive. So we offer information for the educators, school counselors, social workers, students, and parents. So we really, again, we want to make sure that everybody knows what they need to know. So again, I mentioned the culture change, and this wheel kind of talks about the 4 areas of where we focus to make sure that we've got the big picture. So what we really, when it comes to culture change, we're trying to focus on the universal prevention, education, and awareness of good mental health. We want people to be proactive. We want to empower teens and focus on school policies that are going to help to make these changes available to all of our kids. We want to engage the families, and we want to promote that we're all connected. Okay, so we've just recently changed our program, delivery a little bit, in the fact that, again, as I've mentioned, we had, the middle school and the high school, but now that we've incorporated the younger grades, we have changed our program to show that we come into levels. So the first level is we all have mental health. It's a little bit simpler to start the discussions going with the younger kids, and it's a fully bilingual program, but it's really a strong focus on help seeking and good mental health. Level 2 is mostly bilingual, and that's Spanish and English. And this is where we start to introduce more of depression by recognizing the signs and symptoms and where to focus. And again, always going for help seeking and good mental health. Level 3, again, mostly bilingual, which is for the higher grades. This is where we actually do talk about suicide. And again, our focus is always strong mental health, good mental health, and help seeking. So these programs, you don't have to go level 1, level 2, and level 3. I mean, it's great if a school district decides to implement it that way, but if you start in high school or you start in middle school, it's not like you've missed something key because you didn't have the previous levels. So something that we do that I think it's really cool is we have teen empowerment clubs. So you can look at this as another post-school activity or activity that takes place in the school, just like the sports or the theater. But the teen empowerment clubs, it's a great chance for kids to develop some of their leadership skills. And it's not like a depression club or a mope club or just the sad kids club or anything like that. It's a place for kids to get together. They want to exercise their leadership skills, where they want to exercise their service skills. It gives them a chance to make a difference in their school, helping to understand mental illness, promote positive mental health, and build a culture of inclusivity in the schools. So we have 2 different types of clubs, and one is the ELH clubs, which are sponsored partially. We give them money towards their activities, or an affiliate club. So they might be using some of our resources in their clubs, but not necessarily all of ours. But these clubs are really cool. So these kids, they might do activities during finals, or, where they pass out like lifesavers with a sign with encouragement and helping you through things. Or they might do, Peggy, now I'm going to draw a blank at some of the fun activities they do, but they might do like footsteps along the way to finding good mental health. We've been with teen clubs where they've actually sat and they did a video with us with a Chicago Wolves hockey player, and they talked about their mental health, and they created a great video. So these teens are doing some really incredible things, and it's really exciting to see how comfortable they are talking about it, how open they are, and how inclusive they are to their peers. I've seen some really great mix of kids in these meetings that I've attended. We also have awareness into action activities. There's over 40 activities that we've given them for different categories. So we give them a lot of resources that they can either use as it is or take the idea and create it into their own. Some of these activities we've actually also shared with professional organizations if they want to do something of mental health in their office buildings as well. So, and as I've said throughout, we also do want to make sure we're supporting parents and families. So our parent handbook was written by parents for parents. And I think I saw Diana hold it up, but I'm not sure. But This is, again, another excellent free resource. It is bilingual. And I'm going to tell you, when they handed it to me and gave me one to walk away with when I interviewed with them, and I came home and I read that, I was like, where the heck was this a few years ago when I was a struggling rookie parent trying to help my kid out? So I can tell you, as a parent, I mean, this is just an amazing resource. And I'm on, just parenting Facebook groups, and I plug this every chance I have because I think that it's like the what to expect when expecting book, but I think parents should have it for their teenagers. So it's really great. So, and the other thing that we've done, and it's on our resource portal, is we have like universal resources. So we're trying to make sure that there's a common vocabulary. There's good mental health strategies. We share a lot of really great resources to help parents, to help teens, to help educators, so that we can all be speaking a common language and coming up with conversation starters or topics that make it easier to talk about this. We also have a partnership with the National PTA, and that's kind of a lot of the family night workshops. This is more focused on the high school level, but it's another great opportunity and partnership that we have. So for this audience, it's probably not quite as important, but just to let you know, again, how much we do support the educators and the administrators is we do offer staff training, on-demand support from the education team, which, as we mentioned, Peggy is on. Universal resources, staff engagement. Our staff will come to meetings if needed and help out, do webinars, whatever. We really want to make sure that we are helping schools to engage policy changes. So if you guys are connected to schools, or if you know administrators or anything, please share the information with Diana, share it with me or Peggy, and help us to get, in the door. Every step we can get to get into the schools, we're helping our team. So in that respect, it's almost great ways to how can people get involved if they're interested. Obviously, I know that you're all at Rotary, which thank you. Rotary did give my daughter a scholarship in my town, so I love what you all do. But there's different things you can do, and you can donate. You can simply donate money if you want. You can even sign up, look at our website, and if you see a runner and you want to encourage one of our Chicago Marathon runners, you can make a donation to them. You can host an event. Diana had mentioned that, there used to be the walkathons. We, host a walkathon, a dance-a-thon. We're going to be doing a night at Erika's Lighthouse, which is going to be an opportunity to host either a fundraiser in your home or a virtual fundraiser where you share our video and share our messages. We're always looking for volunteers. There's so many wonderful ways to volunteer. One of the things that I do is with our website, we do blogs. So I've had a lot of guest bloggers. If writing is a passion of yours, if you've got a story you want to share or a message, let me know. We've had teenagers write about their feelings. A lot of teenagers wanted to express their feelings in a blog during the pandemic. We let them. They need to hear it. We've had educators share their messages. We've had parents share their messages. We've had runners share their messages. So we're always welcoming that. We've got a council that people can join. We've got a young adult board. So if there's, young adults that are just getting out in their career, but they want to be involved, it's a great opportunity for them to share their talent and get to work with kids or like-minded, young adults like themselves. We also have a community ambassador program. This is a really incredible program where we will train you and give you all the information you need. If you've got contacts in school, if you can get into a school and just share a little bit about our story, we'll give you the slides, we'll give you the training, we'll give you everything you need to know. And once you get a school that's interested, you kind of step back and let us take over from there. So we would love to see that number I showed in the beginning of 39 states change to 52 states. So we welcome community ambassadors to help us anywhere and everywhere. I've included on the bottom our website so you can see more information on how to get involved. So I've mentioned the resource portal. So this is just a good opportunity for me to show you the resource portal and how you can get into it. Again, this is free. This is where we ask our teachers to sign up, parents to sign up, and anybody can sign up. And you simply go to our main page at ericaslighthouse.org. And as you can see in the arrow, there's the resource portal. You can click on there. You can sign up for an account. You might see that it says, what school are you part of, or how many students are you reaching? If that doesn't apply to you, you can simply press 0, and then continue to go forth. And then you'll have access to our resource portal. And there you're going to find all of the great information. You'll see our videos, you'll see our awareness into action campaigns, and anything that you might need to kind of learn more and spread the word. So I've got our program support team there. At the bottom, Peggy's on there. Her associate Alana, who works with our teen clubs as well and helps with the programming across the country. I'm in the marketing organization, and obviously anybody on our team is there, willing and ready to help you at any point.
I could paraphrase our mission.
Oh, thank you,
Diana. And really it is to raise awareness of teen depression, encourage good mental health, break down stigma which surrounds these issues, and that's it in a nutshell. I know there's more words that go with it, but that's what we're all about. And really this applies to every community, every state. And, as Lisa pointed out in her presentation, the need is great. The need is now. Unfortunately, one of the serious side effects of depression is teen suicide, which is the second leading cause of death of young people right now. And so by addressing this depression awareness, by having these kind of conversations going, as Lisa said, we're planting seeds, we're opening up doors, and hopefully helping young people to understand that is not a choice. I mean, that's not an option for them. There's so many more choices. If they're not feeling good emotionally, here's how you ask for help. That's what we're all about.
Thank you so much for inviting us to
Thank
share
you.
this message.
Thank you. Thanks for your support.
Okay.
I miss you.
I don't know when we'll meet again.